see her lying back in her satin dress in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs.
Happy Homebrew Wednesday. I figured since I didn't do a Homebrew Wednesday last week, I should do one, to make up for it, I should do one a day early this week. So a lot of stuff I'm going to get to. There's no brew day footage in here, but first, this is, well, look at that. This is, I'm calling it VA juice. The original recipe was from Brian McCrickert. I think he calls it straight juice homie. And I think this is the recipe that he scaled up and brewed recently at Legends Brewing down this way, and they actually had an opening night where he got to go and folks got to come in and he got to serve his beer and I ostensibly watch people drink it. So that's pretty cool. He sent me this recipe. I brewed it. I did change the hop schedule up, which is why I feel at liberty to slightly change the name. So VA juice instead of V8 juice, VA for Virginia. So and it is straight up juice. I used an experimental hop 432. I think I used some Cryo, Azaka, some Mosaic, like all kind of stuff in this thing. And I think it ended up being probably, 4 to 6 ounces, if not about 6 ounces. That was all Whirlpool in the IPA brew day, and then I put in another, I don't know how many, probably 7 ounces of hops, most of it cryo, and I did 3 ounces of it at high Krausen, so it did the biotransformation thing. And I don't know if it was the juice yeast that I used or the biotransformation, but I finally got the cool milky hazy stuff that I have, and there's no hop burn with this. There's no, I didn't use a bouncer or anything. I did cold crash it to get most of the hop sediment to float down, and I used the cheesecloth on the outflow of my auto siphon to get a lot of hop residue. So there's really not a whole lot of hop residue in this. It's just the protein, all the flake stuff that goes in it, and it is terrific. I've been having to pace myself on this stuff because it is extremely crushable. It is probably one of the, my wife always says this every time I brew a new beer. Honey, I just brewed the best beer I've ever brewed. I'm saying that about this right now. It is just freaking ridiculous how good this thing is. So thank you, Brian, for the recipe. I really appreciate it. You're going to get some. So, anyway, so this is, I'm kind of excited to drink. I've had some Decadent series IPAs before. This is their pecan pie. It's not a dark beer, but it has pecans and maple syrup. So let's see what this is about. And the owner of the beer store is like, it's actually, of the homebrew supply store, said it's actually pretty good. It's very, very hoppy, good double IPA. And I think I'm liking the fact that it's a little more on the clear side. It's got some sediment and stuff floating around in it because, after all, it has, pecans and maple syrup. There's some pecan sediment floating around in there for you, but it looks to be a kind of more of a West Coast kind of IPA, which I can dig. And it smells like a West Coast. It smells like pecans. So let that settle down a little bit because I poured it like a dumbass. I've got a brew day. Actually, first of all, I finished all my SJ Pour Challenge beer reviews. I've got those scores all sent in. So I'm all peasy clean on that. Peasy clean, sorry, military term, means you're ready for the helicopters to come and pick you up. So good to go. I did my 3rd round brew, which I don't think I got any video of it, but I did my third round rebrew of my SJ Pour competition. Fingers crossed, in case, knock on the maple, in case I make it through to the next round. So I have that, ready to go. I'm getting ready to do the next stage of that. And so now on tap, soon I'll have my SJ Pour round beer. I have the New England IPA, and I picked up some I don't think I can flip the camera around on the fly, so I'll just kind of show you the grain bill here. This is going to be my grain bill for the next brew. Tell me what you think that's going to be. So, anyway, that's coming up probably this weekend. And so the way I see it, the Nationals, we started off awesome on the World Series. We went to the enemy's stadium. We beat them 2 games, got up 2-0. I thought it was just going to be another, not sweep, but I thought we'd at least win a game. We came back here to our homestand and lost 3 in a row. No excuse for it. There was some pretty damn bad calling the other night on the last game I watched, but they got a day of rest. They're back in Houston, and the way I look at it, if we end up losing tonight and lose the series, or we lose tomorrow night and we lose the series, I'm going to brew this weekend. That'll be my way of, kind of making up for it. If somehow we win the next 2 games, I'm going to brew this weekend. That'll be the way I celebrate it. So either way, I'm going to brew this weekend. Bam! How you like them apples? I'm going to do a porter, by the way. It's going to be a maple porter. I'm going to put some maple syrup in the end. It's actually going to be an oatmeal maple porter because I decided to throw some flaked oats in it. What the hell? All right, this thing is burned down sufficiently. Let's give it a go. Yeah, wow. It smells like a good IPA, and it smells like maples and pecans. So, cheers. It is decadent, and it is. This reminds me of a game that I would drink on Thanksgiving Day watching a football game, if I still watch football. I always do on Thanksgiving just because it's the thing to do, especially the Cowboys game. Yeah, these decadent beers, man, they put lactose in there. It doesn't say they did, but it sure tastes like they did. So, yeah, there is a lot of pecans. I mean, look at. I mean, it's like I'm getting the bark of the pecan in there. This is really good. Look at the pecans floating around in that thing, man. I don't know if you can see it. So I think I got some beers from Mr. Pour, who wanted me to look at some different kinds of Saison. So I did some reviews of those. He sent me like a red rye Saison. I want to say 2 or 3 in cans, 2 or 3 in bottles. So you'll get a difference between cans and bottles. He's interested in that, and then a difference between the different yeasts between the cans and bottles. I think the cans have different yeast, and the bottles have the same different yeast. So I've made a couple of those. I might throw a couple of those in here. All right, so SJ sent me some Saisons, some in cans, some in bottles, and with different yeasts. This one here, so we could kind of compare them. This one here is the red rye Saison. It's got Bell Saison yeast. ABV is 6%. So let's check it out. Just finished a brew day and I'm like smoked. So this is a good way to end it. Oh, it's a pretty color. That is a beautiful beer. Look at that thing. That is gorgeous. Red X? Maybe? I don't know. Oh, it's a nice Saison. Got that nice little... Man, I haven't had a Saison in a very long time. This is very clean, and I get the rye in the back. Once you start drinking it, the kind of Saison smell quality that you get on the nose kind of goes away. I think maybe it's the rye. The rye is kind of canceling it out. Very good. Thank you, SJ. I will can back up when I try the one in the bottle, and then and obviously the different yeast too. But yeah, this is tasty. I'm gonna sit back and enjoy this. Cheers. This is kind of like getting me into the winter mood. You know, something about this reminds me of. It's almost like a winter spice beer, like a winter beer, or winter ale. It's like a less significant winter ale, if that makes sense. It's not. I mean, winter ales are normally like upwards of imperial strength. This one is like a session version of one. Okay, that's how I would describe this. I would call this a session winter ale. Very good. Cheers, SJ. Okay, taking a break from the World Series. This is Little Face Brewing's Red Rye Saison. I think this is the second one I've had in a can. This one is 6%, obviously same. It's Saison yeast. Saison yeast. I think it's that Belgian-looking yeast that we got from NHC, which was a dry yeast, if I remember. They were giving them away in the packets. I don't know if this is where, SJ, you got this, but yeah, BE134, I think that's what it is. So this is kind of cool because I think I still have one of those packs of that particular yeast. Matter of fact, I think I was with SJ when he picked that packet up. That's the one he's got. So it looks, I think this one's, yeah, it looks about the same color-wise. This one might be a little clearer. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look at the video on the last one. Yeah, it just looks slightly clearer, I think, from my memory. It's been a few days since I had it, so. I'm not getting much, and actually, I get the slight kind of Saison. I think I was getting a little more malt on the last one. And I was getting more of that kind of Saison Belgian quality. I'm getting a little less on the nose on this one. So, cheers. I like this one better. And I'm assuming this was the same wort, just fermented with different yeast. This one is a little lower than normal for a Saison in terms of carb. I don't know if that's because it was canned. It'd be interesting to see what the... Oh, wait a minute. I can't remember now if it was a bottle or a can I had. I think it was a can. This one's a little bit lower on the carbonation level. Still has that good rye flavor, I can tell in the background of the malt. But I think I'm enjoying this one just a little bit more than the last one. It's like a cleaner fermentation. It's less on the nose in terms of the Saison quality, but it's a cleaner fermentation. I mean, you can tell it's a Saison just with some specialty grains in it. But yeah, I think it's a little more well-balanced, I guess I would say. I actually prefer this one to the last yeast strain, but I'll have to go back and check it out. Anyway, I'm going to get back to the World Series. Thanks, SJ. So if I did get that in, there you go. And yeah, I think that's about it. Wow, I thought it was going to be a longer update, but I guess when you don't do a brew day, you don't get... Oh, what I would like to say is, and hopefully my good buddy Stein is watching this. I get my buddy Stein is he's a Dodgers fan from way back. You know, me, I jump teams wherever I go. I figure, home is where you hang your socks, right? So I've been with, the Redskins, unfortunately. The Capitals, it's been a good couple of years, and the Nationals, this has been like a dream season. But we went head-to-head, obviously, in the playoffs, in the second round of the playoffs, the first round of the playoffs after the wild card game. And one night, he was up pretty late, and we were chatting back and forth, and he had mentioned he had been, I think, he'd been to the Czech Republic and had some really good Pilsners, and he was interested in getting into brewing potentially. So I looked up a homebrew kit, sent it to him, a link, hey, go check this out. Dude went out and he ordered it that night or the next day or something, and he got his kit in, and I was talking with him on the phone the other night. My wife, he was on speaker, and she's like, "Man, Mike took like 6 months and like researched this, and she's like, how long are you going to study?" He's like, "Oh, I'm going to probably brew this weekend." And sure enough, he brewed, I think on Friday. I think he brewed Friday, and he brewed a mixed, half extract, half steeping grains with the specialty grains, and he brewed a red amber ale, and I was so impressed, because I did spend a lot of time researching it. But the good thing is, we were able to kind of talk on the phone and talk about some tips and some, here's some things you might want to have, like a spray bottle to keep a foam over from happening and all those things. And it sounds like his brew day went really, really well. And it's been a few days. He's been, that thing is probably almost finished. It's been going at it for 3 or 4 days now. So the bubbling's probably slowing down on the airlock by now, I would imagine. Anyway, just very happy for him. Seeing a newcomer into the hobby melts my heart. Makes me very happy. So welcome to the community, Stein. I saw you subscribe. So maybe one of these days you'll post your own video of one of your brew days. That would be super cool. So anyway, at that, I'll go ahead and wish everyone a very happy homebrew and a very, very happy Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers. If you close your eyes, you wouldn't think, other than the smell of hops, this really works actually. Oh, sorry. Cheers.